Dear students, a very warm welcome to this e-lecture for the module Net Economy. My talk today is on social media marketing. My name is Ellen Roemer and we are here located in Mülheim an der Ruhr, Hochschule Ruhr-West, and we are one of the partners in the Net Economy module this year. So, social media marketing, I think everybody of you has already an idea what it is, social media marketing. But today I want to take you maybe a bit further because it's very important for your personal life, of course, but also perhaps for your future career, and maybe you will take up a job in social media marketing as well. So I want to show you today what social media marketing is and what other forms of new marketing instruments have appeared in the past. So the title of today's lecture is Social Media Marketing, Has Classical Advertising Retired? And this is a very mean question because you all know the classical advertising, for example TV ads and commercials, you know, radio and newspaper ads as well. So these are the forms of classical advertising, and I want to ask you today if this form of advertising has actually retired. In order to answer this question, I have prepared some slides, and I hope you can follow me now through the slides. This is the structure of today. First, I want to go deeper into the different forms of advertising. Then, in part 2, I want to specify social media marketing a bit closer. In the third part, we want to talk a little bit about viral marketing, which is also very new in marketing. And fourth, I want to show you other forms of new advertising instruments. Let's start with the different forms of advertising. First of all, we make a big differentiation when we look at different forms of advertising. On the one side, we have the so-called above-the-line advertising, and on the other side, we have the below-the-line advertising. So what is the difference between the two? Above-the-line advertising refers to those forms of advertising which are very obvious to the customer that this is actually advertising. So the customer can actually see that this is really advertising what the company does. On the other side, we have below-the-line instruments, and with these forms of advertising, the customer does not really know that this is actually advertising what the company does. So these are the two main differences, and I want to take a closer look now into above-the-line instruments first. So here we have the classical advertising, and I've already mentioned it. These are forms like TV commercials, newspaper ads, and so on, and I will show you a little bit later more about these forms. Then we have direct marketing measures, also very popular. For example, newsletters or mailings belong to direct marketing. So if you receive a letter from your bank, you're mostly aware that this is actually direct marketing and this is advertising, so it belongs to above-the-line advertising. Then we have online advertising, and whenever you visit a website, you will be confronted with advertising. We have pop-ups, banners, and so on, and I will also show you some examples later. Further, we have public relations, and this also relates to above-the-line media, because, of course, when a company does press releases, we are aware that this is a press release and this is a form of advertising for the company. Let's go to the below-the-line instruments. First of all, we have sponsoring, and of course you may say, oh, of course, when my football club is playing and there is some advertising on the t-shirts or some logos, of course I know that this is advertising, but it's a more subtle form of advertising. Then we have product placement, also a very subtle form of advertising. And I think you all know movies like James Bond or Sex and the City. And you will have registered that there are a lot of brands that appear in these movies. So this is product placement, where products and brands are actually placed into movies or TV series, so that the customer does not really recognize that this is advertising, but it has a special effect on the brand when it appears in one of the big movies. One other form is very popular as well, which is word of mouth advertising. So if you tell your friend that you like a brand, for example, or that you have bought a new mobile phone or a smartphone and you're very satisfied with the brand, you will tell your friends, and this is word of mouth. It's not really obvious that this is advertising, but it is advertising indeed, and it belongs to below the line measures. Finally, we have new huge events. For example, Red Bull does it, and other big companies do it, where we have concerts or other big sport events in the name of a brand. So this is also below the line marketing or advertising. We will now take a closer look into the classical advertising and also online advertising, just to give you a bit of feeling about these two forms. First of all, here we have some numbers on the classical advertising expenditures in Germany, and you can see that in total 28.8 billion of euros have been spent in classical advertising in the year 2010, so that this is really a very big number, $28.8 billion. That is really something. So you see that there's a lot of money in it. And then we have a look at the print media, and this is actually, I'll try to show it to you with the cursor. So this is the dark blue shaded area, which is 47% goes to print media in classical advertising. So this is advertising that you see in newspapers, for example, in print media. Then we have 5.7 billion of euros spent into TV ads and television commercials, which is 20%. This is this lighter blue area here. Then we have supplements in newspapers, where you have, of course, some big retail chains advertising for their products, for example. And then we have poster and outdoor, $3.8 billion, which is about 13% of the advertising expenditures. A minor share relates to radio ads, which is 1.4 billion euros in Germany, which is actually 5%, and a very small share goes to the cinema advertising. So these are typical and classical forms of advertising that are known for a very long time already, and which have not actually changed a lot during the last couple of years. However, a lot of money still goes into it. Let's go to online advertising. So we have, of course, company websites. The companies have, or most companies nowadays have their own websites, which needs to be hosted. Then we have banners and pop-up ads, and I want to show you an example. I hope this works now. Let's see. This is a famous German newspaper, and usually you can see a lot of advertising on it. Yeah, here it comes. We have this guy doing some nice postures and trying to get your attention, and we had him as a pop-up, and now we have a banner on the right hand side, also very dynamic in order to attract your attention. So this is actually one form of online advertising. Then we have another form, search engine advertising, and I want to show you an example as well. I go to Google, for example, and when I type in, or maybe I go to the international version, I go to google.com, and when I type in books, you should usually see some of the links that are advertised. You will find very high-ranked stores on the top, but you will also see some ads in the sides. So you can't see them really here, but usually you get a lot of supported links in order to get your attention, and this also belongs to online advertising. Finally, you have emails and newsletters that will be sent to your email address when you have registered, for example, with an online dealer or somebody else. So these are all forms of online advertising, and I want to show you some numbers as well. Here we only have in total 9.4 billion of euros spent in Germany in 2010. So this is 1/3 of the amount going to the classical advertising. So online advertising has less expenditure, but still, that's it's a big number, 9.4 billion of euros. First, we have 55% going to company websites, so 5.2 billions of dollars. Companies are investing in hosting and establishing, keeping up their websites. Then we have banners and pop-ups, what you've actually now seen, which is 1.3 billions of euros going to banners and pop-ups, 14%. Then we have search engine advertising, which is 0.9 billions of dollars, 10%. And then we have emails and newsletters, and this is again 2.0 billions of euros in Germany. So this gives you now an idea of some classical above the line measures, as well as new online measures in advertising. What we are calling now advertising 2.0 is actually a mix of the above the line advertising and below the line advertising. So most of you are aware that when a company advertises in social media, you will be aware of that, but still companies try to do that in a very subtle way. And we will look at this in more detail right now. So let's go to social media marketing part 2. First of all, when we talk about social media marketing, what we need, of course, at university, but also in your business life, is a definition. What do we actually understand when we mean social media marketing? I've compiled a definition now, which relates to social media marketing refers to the presence and the interaction with the target group in different social media channels and platforms in order to reach a specific marketing objective. What is important in this definition is, of course, that we need a marketing objective. So companies don't do social media marketing just because it's fun, but because they want to reach a certain objective. What may these objectives look like? These objectives include, for example, acquisition of new customers, increase in brand image and awareness, or maintaining a market position. So when companies do social media marketing, they want to reach some of these objectives. I also highlight them for you. So we want to acquire new customers, increase brand image and awareness, and or maintain a market position. So this gives you now an idea what social media marketing is. I think most of you have already experienced social media marketing, but I want to give you now a deeper look into it. So what do the numbers say? Here we see the results of a survey among 230,000 businesses that have been surveyed and questioned. And they have been asked which kind of instruments of social media marketing they use. And here you see the result or the results of this survey, and you see that most of them have said that they have an own Facebook account. 88% of these customers who have been questioned said that Facebook is actually their preferred social media marketing channel. However, there are also other forms of social media marketing which are quite popular. For example, we have connection buttons to social networks, so you can see them on the websites usually. We have discussions and forums, blogs in social networks, 39% only. There are also other accounts on other platforms which are less important than, of course, Facebook. Own Twitter accounts do 27 of the questioned people have actually. Some of them also use viral online marketing, 23%, and we will go closer into that as well a little bit later. Then we have social media release, which is a form of press release, which is enhanced by pictures, by videos and graphics. So this is a more lively presentation of a press release. This is social media release, but only 16% of the companies do that. 6% of the companies use own apps and widgets, so this is a very minor or less important form of social media marketing. Let's go to some examples, and I've chosen one popular example that relates to Germany, but I think that can also relate to other companies as well, or to other countries. And I hope this doesn't irritate you that I use a more German example. First of all, I want to look into the Facebook accounts, 88%, so this is actually the most widely used form of social media marketing. And here we have, for example, the company called AIDA, which actually is a cruise company. You can go on a cruise tour with AIDA. Some other examples, more international, would be Caribbean, for example, Royal Caribbean, or Costa are also international cruise lines. So AIDA is a German cruise line, and they are very active in social media. Here you can see my Facebook account, and I regularly do get advertising of AIDA on Facebook, and here I've just done a shortcut of my profile in order to show you what this looks like. But I think you've all experienced that as well, because I know most of you are, of course, on Facebook, so you have also experienced this form of advertising in your own accounts. So this was their own Facebook account, but what about the connection buttons? When you go to the AIDA website, you also find the connection buttons. I've highlighted it here in the low right corner. You can find connection buttons to Google+, Twitter, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, of course. So 80% of the company have said that they use it, AIDA use it as well. Discussion in forums, blogs, and social network. AIDA is very active there as well, because here in these forums and blogs you can actually chat about your experiences when you went on a cruise and when you had some visits to cities, what is important to see there, sightseeing, shopping. You can exchange your information on these forums and in these blogs from AIDA, so you have this form of advertising here as well. AIDA is also on Twitter, so you can also get the latest news of AIDA on Twitter, so that is popular as well. And they, of course, have their own newsletter. Finally, you have a special app where you can actually follow your cruise ship and see where you are at the moment and where the ships are positioned, so that you can actually have the perfect overview. So this is also a very subtle form of advertising from the side of AIDA. The important question is always, does social media marketing actually pay off for the companies? Of course, they make a lot of investments. We've already seen that in social media marketing. But the question, of course, is always the return on advertising or the return on marketing, and in this case, social media marketing. So the question is, how do we measure actually return on social media marketing investment? And this is a huge question for the practitioners, because they see that they're investing money, but they mostly don't have a clue what actually comes out of it. So Coca-Cola has developed the Influencer Relations Management Index, and this is of course just an example how you can actually measure the success of social media marketing. For example, they've said that there are some quantitative criteria. They can actually count the numbers of fans or followers and likers. But they also look deeper into the messages exchanged in social media. So they want to control whether some topics have been successfully positioned and how are the communication flows in the social network. What is the volume and quality of the network interaction and integration, number of misleading and false messages, and so on. So they also look at that. However, Coca-Cola also tries to monitor outside the social media in public sources, and for example other platforms like Twitter or reactions in other platforms are also monitored. So this is just one example how you can try to measure the effectiveness of social media marketing. The problem, of course, like with any other marketing investment, is that you cannot isolate the effect of social media marketing investments. So you cannot say, okay, I put in €1 and €2 come out of social media marketing. So this is not the case. We cannot do that because there are so many other effects of other advertising measures. So the problem is actually to isolate the social media marketing effect on the customer. So what are the challenges to social media marketing? I think you all of you know the so-called shitstorms. And of course, this is not a nice word, but we call it like this in practice. So whenever a company fails to communicate properly their message, there may be a problem on the social media. So the so-called shitstorms, for example, Taco Bell has experienced one in early 2011, because they have actually been filed that the quality of their beef that they use in their burgers are not of good quality. So there was actually a lawsuit in the real world, I may say. Taco Bell has been sued for the minor quality of their beef. And this actually caused a shitstorm on the internet, and Taco Bell had to struggle very hard in order to control the shitstorm and in order to prove that actually their beef they use is of good quality. So because the social media spread very fast on the internet, some organizations, especially the big organizations who are not really used to use social media, are too slow in order to react to these shitstorms, and of course there's a big image damage to it if you don't react very fast. So there are also new chances, but also I would like to stress that new risk if a company uses social media marketing. So what has Taco Bell actually been done? They have been very clever because they started a counterattack on the social media platforms. First of all, what they did is to print huge ads in newspapers. So they had a whole page of newspaper ad, which is usually quite expensive, in major newspapers in the USA. However, they also tried to mobilize their own fans on social media platforms in order to actually let them shout out that the beef is actually controlled and of good quality. And what they also did in order to those people who complained to give them bonuses in order to make people try the beef and to convince them of the quality. What is actually very dangerous that in surveys we found out that 2/3 of the organization actually involved in social media marketing, 2/3 of those do not monitor their social media platforms. So I think there's an important word missing. I just put it in here. They do not monitor their social media platforms. And this is a real risk if the companies don't do that. The companies learn, of course, but maybe it is too late and the damage is very huge for the image. So let's come to another form of a new media or new advertising form, which is viral marketing. And this relates to social media marketing because viral marketing usually spreads through social media platforms. So what is viral marketing? With viral marketing, information is directly addressed to individual persons via new media like Facebook, Twitter, so as to infect them with the message. So persons are actually infected with the message, and what the sender of the virus wants is that the virus then spreads through the new media, through social media, to other users. In this way, host cells are expected to infect other persons to voluntarily transfer the advertising message to other people. So what is expected that once the virus is planted into a host, this host will spread the message to other people and do this voluntarily. So there is no pressure involved. This just spreads from one person to another person. You can imagine this actually like a virus spreading all over the world. We have this form of viral marketing in different social media. Also, for example, on YouTube, and I want to show you a brief example of one of the famous viral marketing campaigns. This is Tipex, a company which is known for correcting written handwriting or typing. Very popular. I think all of you know this company, and they have invented a very interactive form of social media, and I want to show you very shortly the clip on YouTube. I hope this is working now. Oh, it's working.
Das ist die wahrscheinlich lustigste Werbung des Jahres. Mit einem interaktiven Werbeclip wirbt der Hersteller eines Korrekturschrifts bei YouTube. Da der Jäger Skrupel hat, den Bären zu erschießen, löscht er schlichtweg den Titel des Videos. Jetzt sind Sie gefragt. Was soll der Jäger mit den Bären machen? Tippen Sie einfach Begriffe in das leere Feld und lassen Sie sich überraschen. Bild.de hat es für Sie ausprobiert.
This, there you go. Thank you.
So I think I also showed you the English version. This was more for the German watchers. So you see clicks of more than 21 million, which means that it's very popular.
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you never got that shit. That baby. What? Holy shit! I tell you, there's a fucking baby behind you. Do something about it. Come on. Just shoot it now. I can't. Just shoot it. I'm telling you. I can't. Come on.
So now you have the option what you want to do. So it's a very interactive clip. And for example, oh, now it has disappeared. Sorry for that. So we don't want to shoot the bear.
Shoot this bear! Come on! I can't! Just shoot it! Hey! I want to shoot this bear. Help me rewrite this story. Type anything you want with your keyboard. Then enjoy.
So now we can actually put anything in here, I think in English. For example, you can say, okay, he drinks with the bear. Okay, let's write in German. So you can also do that in your own language. It's usually in English. Okay, this is not so nice. But that's a very interactive viral marketing campaign that has spread over the world. So you can actually have a look at it yourself also in your own language or in English. So let's go back to the presentation. What are other forms of new advertising? And I want to show you some very prominent forms that you have already experienced. For example, one form is the so-called retargeting, where actually you leave some cookies when you are surfing the web. For example, you're looking for some shoes. This is a very prominent example also from Germany, but also maybe in your countries. So if you look for shoes and you have looked at some shoes very closely, you will be surprised that you will see these shoes in your banners the next time you're surfing the internet. Or you may also experience this, for example, with Booking.com, where you've actually looked for a journey to a certain place. You will be actually surprised that you see this hotel or the destination you've chosen in your banners. So you leave cookies when you surf the internet, and retargeting is actually designed in order to remind you that you may have a certain want or need that you may want to fulfill in the near future. So this is also a new form of marketing and advertising. Then we have mobile ads, of course. Also, most of you are using smartphones, so you will have experienced that mobile advertising is becoming more and more popular, and of course more investment is made in there. You have these groups, like for example Daily Deal or Groupon, where you have certain users on the internet, and when they come together they have a huge buying power. So these platforms try to gather these people in order to get them together and to get actually a good deal for different things. Finally, we have user-generated events. So the target groups actually become part of the event, so that they can create their own events, get involved into the different events, and identify yourself, of course, with the brand. So this is also a new form of advertising. So the question is, of course, has the classical advertising retired? And I come to the conclusion now, of course it has not retired, because we have seen that there are a lot of investments and expenditures in the classical advertising, but we have also seen that the new forms of social media marketing and other forms are actually gaining momentum. So they are growing regarding their importance, regarding their expenditures. So it will be very interesting to see how far this trend can go, how far social media marketing, advertising can grow, and maybe one day we have more expenditures in the new forms of marketing and advertising than in the classical advertising. But this, actually, time will tell. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in class very soon. Bye-bye.